Perfect, right. Are you guys having a good time? Right, Arabs, are you ready for your headline act tonight? I know it's 3 of you, but the rest of you can show some enthusiasm. Baji ki kar rahe ho? The next guy, guys, I want you guys to give him a big welcome. Firstly, he's local. He's from Stratford. Secondly, he's the most Arab guy ever. I mean, this guy is more halal than Dixie fried chicken. Right, so from Team Arabs, the most Arab and the most eligible Arab in house, put your hands together for the one and only Victor Daniel!
What part of Arab? What?
Have you ever gone for a job and you lied on your CV? I needed the money, man. Fuck it. It's hard out here, man. It's hard. Where all my Asian women in the house make some noise? Mushallah. Inshallah. I know the lyrics. I know the lyrics. I've been to Green Street.
Mashallah.
Is it mashallah? I'm being corrected by a black man. It's a moment. Beautiful. I was in Green Street, man. What's that food you lot got? It's like a ball and you put it in syrup. It's like gulab jaman. Wow, you Asian people kept that to yourself. That shit should be on MasterChef. I couldn't stop eating it, man. By the time I finished eating, I was speaking Hindu. What a thing! I phoned up Boris. I said, Bridget, next time you have a party down the street, you need to get some galak. That is a thing. I just came back from India, actually. You lot have got a beautiful country. The women, the mountains, the food, the beautiful country. But I didn't go there for any of that shit. I went to speak to someone about these bank charges. Don't hide from me, Raj. I knew his name wasn't Dave. I could hear a little twang on his voice. I knew it wasn't Dave, you know, he took the mick out of my life. It's crazy. I just came on a date, went on a date. Beautiful Jamaican girl, beautiful. Natural blue hair, blonde eyes.
Natural.
Beautiful. I said to Shaniqua, what do you want to drink? Do you know what Shaniqua said to me? Do you know what Shaniqua said? She wants a triple brandy. Do you know how much a triple brandy costs? That's like £35. I got her a triple Coke. That shit came in a jug. You know when women come to your house, they got this little trick they do. To make sure that no other woman comes to your house, do you know what women do? They keep something of theirs in your house. Do you know what Shaniqua kept in my house? Her children. Ridiculous. Have you ever lost 20 pounds and just think to yourself, where is it? And then you find it in the most strangest places. Like I lost 20 pounds, right? And then 2 weeks ago, I found it under the sofa in my friend's house. It's mad. So what we think about the Ukraine and the Russian war? It's mad, isn't it? But you know what I've got respect for? The reporters. They fly all to that danger zone just so that we know the news. Wow. If I was a reporter, I wouldn't fly to Ukraine. I'll turn on my television, put it on BBC One, and say, look, there's a war in Ukraine. It is dangerous. My name's Victor Daniels, reporting live from Stratford. And I'm out hearing that the Chinese people want to get involved. And they're on the Russian side. I'm like, look here, before Britain do anything to China, yeah, I've ordered a television from China. So please just let that TV come and then do your sanctions. Anyone got any children?
Yes.
Come on, man, be proud of your children, man. She'll be like, yes, they're in the car. No, I've got children, man. It's hard. Like, my daughter's so brainy, right? So we're in the parents' evening and they're like, your child's gonna get an A in maths, an A in English, an A in science. I'm fuming. And the teacher's like, why are you so angry? And I said, because I said I'll give her £50 for every A she gets. I had to give him a score just to bring it down to a B+. And the homework is so hard. It is hard. I said to my daughter, I'll help her. 20 minutes later, she was helping me help her do her homework. It's mad. And then my other daughter, she's struggling a bit in maths. And she came up to me and said, Dad, I'm really struggling. And I said to myself, this is going to be a beautiful moment. Because as a father, I can now part wisdom onto my child. So I looked her in the eye and I said to her, the next time you go to school, sit next to the Chinese children. Now them Chinese children are brainy enough. When I was in school, one time the substitute teacher didn't come in. So I said, go downstairs and go to the nursery and get that little wing child. We all passed. My children said to me the other day, Daddy, we want to go to the West End to watch Lion King. I'm like, minor. I went online. Do you know how much tickets are for Lion King? Lion King, you know, £100. That's 3 bills. So I phoned my brethren, and he said he had some cheaper tickets. So we went there and we watched Lion King. I mean, the view was a bit restricted. We had binoculars. We was across the street from the theatre. We had to read their lips. I mean, but it was still a good time. And things are expensive, you know. My daughter said to me, Dad, I want some cereal. I was like, sure. What do you want? Lucky Charms. I was like, that's not a problem. I put the Lucky Charms on the counter. And Mr. Patel said that would be $6.99 for cereal. I was like, why is it so expensive? He said, because we have to import it in from America. I was like, what part? Compton? It was mad. That shit better come with a vaccine. It's a crazy world, man. It's a crazy world. A lot of footballers on the news right now complaining that they're suffering racism. I was watching Marcus Rashford. He was like, I'm getting racism online. It's just so annoying. It's upsetting my soul. I was like, mate, for 250 grand per week, I'll play for the Ku Klux Klan. Do you think I care if they pass me the ball? For 250 grand per week, you can hire someone to follow me around London racially abusing me. Do you think I care? For 250 grand per week, do you know what I'll do for my racist fans? I'll start an OnlyFans page so they can racially abuse me 24 hours a day for $4.99 per month. Crazy. These people, they earn just too much money. Let's say they came to Stratford and they saw something they couldn't afford. Something like Stratford. This is what these footballers can do, right? They play 3 games a week. Each game lasts an hour and a half. So that comes up to 4.5 hours. If you add on their training, it's 5 hours. That comes up to 9.5 hours. Let's just round this off to 12. Did you know that under UK law, if you work under 16 hours per week, you're still entitled to your unemployment benefits? These guys can still sign on. You're taking the piss. But on a serious note, apart from comedy, I actually work as a mentor. And because a lot of young men, when they go to jail and they come out, they actually re-offend and then they go to jail within the first year. Now I've been working with a young gentleman by the name of Marcus who's at the bank, and he's now actually been out of jail for 3 years.
Top man. Well done, Martin.
He still sells drugs, but with my guidance. Because they don't know, like, he makes all this money. I said, you can't just go to your regular banks, you got to go to a bank that's far, you know, like somewhere like Croydon, just to hide the money. But on a serious note, I've stopped smoking weed. It's been about 2, 3, 4 hours now. Because weed makes you do weird things. Like I was smoking a spliff watching Trisha. And you know the weed is strong because Trisha hasn't been on TV for 15 years. So I don't know what I was watching. I don't even know the telly was on, but I was watching something. And then the weed said to me, Victor, you know you got work, right? I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. So I jumped on the train with my child ticket. You save so much money, people, trust me. By the end of the year, I'm gonna buy a house just from buying a child ticket. So I went to work in this posh restaurant that you guys call Burger King. And I ran past the Somalian guy who'd been there for the last 16 hours, no lunch break. And I started cooking all the food. I did the Whoppers, the fries, the chicken wires. I even brought back the mushroom double Swiss. And then after my 8-hour shift, the manager called me into the office. And do you know what he said to me? Who are you? The weed told me that I worked at Burger King, people. The weed told me where the Whoppers were. It was a moment. It was a moment. Like I'm smoking a spliff, man. The weed said to me, Victor, don't forget to pick up your children. So I went and picked up my children, and half an hour later I was getting arrested by the police. I was like, why are you arresting me? And they said they've never seen a black man with 3 Asian children before. It's mad. Like the other day I was smoking a spliff, right? And the weed said to me, why don't we rob a post office? I didn't want to rob the post office. But you know, peer pressure. I come from a broken home. My dad left me when I was 25. So I'm robbing this post office, right? And I said to Patel, look, just give me £20, a Kit Kat, and some stamps, and I'm good. And then the next day, right, I had to post a letter. But I didn't have no envelopes. So the weed said, why don't we go back to the same post office? So I went back to the same post office, right? But the post office was closed because somebody robbed the post office yesterday. Then this geezer comes up to me and goes, you look like the guy that robbed this post office yesterday. I said, sir, that is so bad to assume that all black people look like each other. And he said, no, I'm not being racist. What it is, right? He works for the BBC on a program called Crime Watch. And they're filming a reenactment of the robbery that happened yesterday. To cut a long story short, people, I got paid twice. I said to him, I don't need no script, I'm a method actor. True story, man, true story. I've been hanging out with posh people recently. I mean proper posh. You know, the ones that shop at Waitrose. Proper posh. If they go to watch Harry Potter, they'll leave the cinema going, I prefer the book. Proper. You know, proper posh. You know what I mean? If you give them a split, they say, is it gluten-free? Proper posh. And they're different. They are different. Like me and James went to the pub. I tell you, when posh people start drinking, it's not a game. It's not a game. They don't stop drinking until they see Jesus. Us, when we start drinking, we'll stop at £10.50. If we're not drunk by £10.50, the party's finished. It's mad. And then I went camping with James. Have you been camping with posh people? It's serious. It is serious. I don't know where he got his tent from, but it looked like he was on MTV Cribs. My tent looked like I was on the council waiting list. I'm walking around this tent at one point, I'm like, do tents come with stairs? And then when you ask them for directions, when you ask us, we're just like this. If you go straight, turn right, and ask somebody else, you should be there. When you ask a posh person, they'll grab your hand. No, first, what they'll do is they'll pick up their mobile phone their workplace, and tell them, I'm going to be late, I'm just helping someone with directions. Then they'll grab your hand, and they'll lead you to Argos. I said, mate, you didn't have to do that. I said, I know, I didn't have to do that, but I felt like doing it because of what happened to black people in slavery. I just want to give back. And when we buy pets, it's different. When posh people buy a pet, they'll give that pet a name, 3 square meals, national insurance number. It's serious. When we buy a cat, it's for one reason and one reason only. I haven't even said anything. I can hear people now. Mice. Mice. The man is talking about mice. Yes, mice. And sometimes I haven't even seen the mouse. It might have been a dream. We heard a weird noise. There was a hole in the basmati rice. A cat is getting brought the same day. And before the cat enters the house, we'll have a conversation with the cat. We'll tell the cat before he enters the house, there's no whiskers here, my friend. No mouse, no meal. And if you notice, I kept on calling him Cat. Because Cat is his name. I've got 2 cats, Cat 1, Cat 2.
Cat 1, Cat 2.
And if the cat don't catch that mouse within 6 weeks, we'll upgrade to a different animal. In my house right now, there's an eagle sitting on top of the television. Nobody moves. I've tried when it comes to mice, I've tried all the traps. First I started off with the basic one. I put the cheese there. The mouse isn't eating the cheese. I had to go to Green Street. I got some Indian pinner. Oh, the mouse ate the pinner. He ate so much, he called his brethrens. They were just grabbing the cheese and running out. They grabbed that pinner and ran out. There was about 30 mouse. I don't know if they did a Facebook, updated their status. I don't know what was going on. It was like I was feeding them. I was watching it on the CCTV. It was ridiculous. So then I changed to the glue trap. Now the glue trap is very effective, but it's just a bit too effective. I thought they died straight away. He got caught in the glue trap, and then he started to walk slowly into the living room. Then he got into the middle of the living room and just died. My wife's looking at me like, you're the man of the house. You should move the mouse. I'm looking at her like, you're the woman of the house. You should move the mouse. For 4 hours straight, we just sat there looking at each other like who's going to move the mouse. And then we just did what any normal couple would have done. We just packed our bags and left the house. We now live in a hostel. True story, man, true story. Like I said, we hang out with posh people, and I bought a product and it wasn't working. I was fuming. So I phoned up customer service. I said, look, Bridget, don't take the piss out of man, yeah? I bought this thing from here, I want my money back here, I'm coming down there and I'm just gonna slap everyone. They put the phone down on me, and my posh friend Lily looked at me and said, Victor, you're not gonna get nowhere being that angry black man. I was like, what should we do, Lily? What should we do, Lily? Lily looked me in the eye, you know what she said to me? We are gonna write a strongly worded email. I've never written a strongly worded email before. So Lily helped me. She starts off with, to whom it may concern. You're not ready for them lyrics there?
Yeah.
That's like a Jamaican man saying, look here, I don't know who I need to talk to here. So this email's going to the whole company. That's what to roommate may concern means. And then she said, one would first like to state. I've never used one in a sentence in my life. She's like, one would first like to state that when one purchases items from your establishment, they are normally of the highest standard. But to my dismay, you're not ready for dismay. When I go to job interviews, I put the word dismay in the interview. I don't know how it's said. Dismay with a Y at the end. You're not ready for dismay. To my dismay, one was astonished to find that the item that one purchased was not up to its normal standard. Now under the Sales Act 1975, one demands a full refund. I couldn't believe it when my drug dealer came back to me within the hour. He thought I phoned the police. It's mad. Who watched that film, Get Out? Yeah. Comedy for you guys. Us black men, that was a horror. We haven't seen nothing that scary since Brokeback Mountain. Have you seen Brokeback Mountain? What that cowboy did to his brethren, whew, that was wild. I had to sleep in my mum's room. I went to watch Get Out when it was in the cinema. I went with my white girlfriend. Left her in the cinema. That film scared the shit out of me, right? And I thought to myself, I'm going to have a white woman and she says to me, it's time to meet the parents. I'll tell her straight. If they live in Kent, Surrey, Cornwall, anywhere where there's a windmill, I'm not going. You better tell your parents to meet me somewhere neutral. Tell them to meet me in Peckham. I need to feel safe. After that film, I saw six big black guys talking to each other. I've never seen this before. And do you know what they were saying? They were talking to each other and they were saying, when you get home, text me. Let me know that you got in safely. Serious. Have you ever watched a program and you thought to yourself that never happened? Years ago, I was watching EastEnders, right? And there was this black character, is it Gus? Remember Gus? They gave Gus a girlfriend. I thought to myself, who are they going to give him? I thought it might be like Sharon or Sam, or even Peggy. They gave Gus Sonia. Sonia! Behave. But that's not where they took the piss. Sonia finished Gus. Gus went home, sat down, and started crying about Sonia. Sonia! That girl's so ugly, she's handsome. Sonia! If I was in EastEnders and they said to me, Victor, in this scene, we want you to kiss Sonia, I'll tell them straight, you better get a stunt double or something. Oh, it's mad. I'm Nigerian. Oh. A lot of people say that us Nigerians do fraud. It's true. It's true. West Indian people do fraud as well, but they call it partner. In my house, my mum used to teach me fraud. She didn't call it fraud though, she called it math. She'd be, it's full stop, and it's comma. It can happen at the beginning of a sentence and at the end. Hey, Jack and Jill went to fetch water with no money, idiot. Someone was like, hey, you want to buy a house in London? You want to buy a house in London? You will need maths. Let me teach you maths now, idiot. Hey. If I take £1,000 from this bank account and I take £1,000 from that bank account, how much will I have? My Uncle Femi, he was the first one to show me fraud. He used to work at the local job centre. On his lunch break, everyone else used to go out to Greg's to get their sandwiches, but not my Uncle Femi, he was smarter than that. On his lunch break, he'll go downstairs, turn on the computer, and sign on. I said, Uncle Femi, if you work at the job centre and you collect unemployment benefits, isn't this fraud? He looks around and says, it is not fraud. It is not fraud, idiot. It is mainly top-up. I remember one time we was on the train and this woman dropped her bank card on the floor and Uncle Femi went to pick it up. And the woman was like, no, Uncle Femi, I'll pick up my own bank card. I don't know how she knew his name. And he got mad. He was like, hey, do you think I want to do fraud with your bank card, idiot? Hey. My friend, if you do not come off the street today, I'll slap you tonight, idiot. Hey. As the woman left, I looked at Uncle Femi and I said, Uncle Femi, did you do fraud with that lady's bank card? He said, Before the bank card had even touched the floor, I knew the sort code, the account number, numbers on the back. I even knew her mother's middle name. Serious, man. I told my mum the other day I'm going vegan. My mum was so proud of me. Hey, yes. First GCSEs, then A-levels, then degree, now vegan. Yes, you are a proper African student. I said, no, Mama, vegan means I no longer want to eat meat. She said, She started crying. She said, what of assorted meat? Shaki, stew? Wow, you do not want, they will not let you into Lagos. And then she looked at me and I said, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask a question, but I'm afraid. I want to ask you a question. Are you homosexual? I'm gonna go now. But before I go, just a quick thing. I've noticed that there's some people in there from Stratford Job Centre. Just so that we've got our story straight. I'm not getting paid for this show. And I know you're looking at me right now thinking to yourself, how comes he's walking? This is a miracle. I'm going to be at the job centre on Monday in a wheelchair with my blind stick. I want no problems. I'm going to go, but I do have some flyers. I've got my own show on the 18th of April, so please come and take a flyer. My name's Vic today.
Where can we find you on social?
Oh, sorry, guys, big up Victor Daniels. So guys, make some noise for Victor Daniels, right? Right. Uncle in the middle of yaar car jana bhukh lagi hai. Right, did you guys have a good time?